So in this video we're going to be working on this 1993 E-Z-GO Marathon. If you guys have got a cart that looks similar to this, come up here and look at that manufacturer code, that bottom set of numbers there. You see the last two digits are 93. That means this was a 1993 model. I've been riding this thing around. I mean, we've had this cart for a few years now. I was riding it the other day and hit a little bump. Nothing major, just a little bump. Didn't hit it hard, didn't hit it fast, nothing out of the ordinary. When I hit that bump, I heard a bang. It was real similar to if I run over a stick or something. Sometimes a stick will slap up the bottom of the floorboard, makes a loud bang. That's kind of what it sounded like. And I looked around me, I hadn't run over any sticks or anything. And I kept driving it, and within just a little bit, you know, within 50 feet, I noticed that as I turned the wheel, it didn't feel funny, but it was starting to make a noise. It made a funny noise when I turned the wheel. So I got it up here to the house, got it jacked up, looked underneath of it, and let me get it jacked up again. I'll show you what I found. You see that leaf spring over there on the far side I'm shining my light on? You see right there where it's broken? So that bang I heard was that leaf spring breaking and slapping down on that steering arm that runs across just under it. And actually then the noise that I heard was that spring rubbing on that steering arm as I turned. Right now I've got most of the weight supported on these jack stands back here, and I do have a little bit of weight on the jack on the front, but if this thing were sitting on the floor, it's really hard for me to get the camera up under there. But when it's sitting on the floor and all the weight of the front end is on the wheels, that broken spring is laying on that steering arm. So that's the funny noise I heard. So it looks like I've got a broken spring on one side, and this side here, we're just going to go ahead and change it anyhow. I had an issue with this cart a few years ago where I broke one of the rear springs, and it was about a year later I ended up breaking the other one. So I'm going to change both of these at the same time this time around. Because that cart is so old, it's getting hard to find some parts for it. Luckily for me, front springs are not hard to find for it. So I saw actually a decent selection on Amazon and eBay. I went ahead and ordered these off of eBay, just got a better deal. So they look like they're going to work. I guess this must be the part number 11014 if you guys are working on your own. There's also a number on the strap here, 101823. I don't know if you can read that stamped into that. So anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and pull that front fairing off of there first thing. A couple of bolts I think is all that holds that on. Get that off of there and show you what it's going to take to get these springs swapped out. Okay, now we can see what we're working with here. Took that fairing off, just a couple of bolts hold that thing on. Right up there you can see that tab sticking down. Those two little tabs, that's it. Holds that plastic on the front. So here's your spring mounts. Of course there's the one that's broken. Looks like everything be fairly easy to get to here. Just keep in mind, you know, when you disconnect these springs, it's going to relieve the pressure on the suspension. So, you know, don't get your hand in a bind nowhere. Don't get your fingers pinched. I'm going to go ahead and we'll just do one at a time. We'll break this loose, then break that, swap that spring out, break this loose, break that, swap that spring out. Alright, well I went ahead and took the bolts to the wire wheel, and if you guys ain't got a little parts bin, even just a little one like this that you can keep just standard bolts, they're super handy to have. I just went to my parts bin, I got out fresh washers and nuts. So we'll use the old bolts. They seem to be okay, but I really don't like reusing lock washers especially. So the old spring compared to the new spring looks really good. So it looks like same length, same width. That band is just a little bit off, but very minor difference. So looks like it's got the same bend to it and everything. So I think we'll be in good shape. Well, that takes care of that side. There's those 3 bolts that hold it together back there, 4 that hold it together up here. The 4 in the front here are a little shorter than the 3 in the back. That's really the only difference. Uses the same plate on top and underneath back there. So I'm going to go ahead and do the exact same thing over here. Again, cleaned up the bolts with a wire wheel and got new nuts and washers. Well, this is those 2 1/4-inch bolts. I went ahead and hit them on a wire wheel, and they had Teflon lock nuts on them. I grabbed new Teflon lock nuts out of my bin. Well, just putting some weight on it. Nothing seems out of the ordinary. Let's take a peek up under there. I'll turn the wheel so we can maybe see the other side there a little easier. Oh yeah, looking good. Now this camera does a real poor job in the dark, but I'll take you guys for a ride anyhow. Make sure we don't hear no funny noises or anything. Turn on the light bar. That helps a lot outside. Oh yeah. Turning kind of hard, going a little fast. Bump there a little bit hard. All right, well, I think that does it on this one, guys. I hope I helped you with this one. If I did, click that thumbs up button. You want to see me working on more golf carts out here? Or I got to get that 68 C10 out of here. I got another project waiting to get that thing done. So time's a wasting. I'll be working on that real soon. Till the next time, keep on tinkering.